So it's official. Apple has put the next big iPhone event on the calendar. The question is, what exactly are they going to show us this fall? Well, let's dive right in and break down every single major announcement we're expecting, from a completely redesigned iPhone to a new generation of watches and accessories.
Yep, get your calendars out. The big day is September 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And you know the drill, the event's going to be live streamed across all of Apple's platforms. It really promises to be a packed one.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle the main event, the iPhone 17 lineup. Then, we'll move on to the new generation of Apple Watch. After that, we'll cover some really key accessory updates for AirPods and AirTags. And to wrap it all up, we'll take a peek at what else Apple has in the pipeline for the rest of the year.
All right, let's kick things off with the one everybody is waiting for, the new iPhones. This year, all the signs are pointing to Apple releasing 4 distinct new models, and it looks like each one is catering to a slightly different person.
So, the lineup is expected to include the base iPhone 17, a totally new iPhone 17 Air, and then the 2 high-end models, the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max. Now, while the base model will probably just see a simple processor update, it's the other 3 where the real action is. And you know, the most talked about new entry is without a doubt the iPhone 17 Air.
The biggest story this year is definitely the rumored introduction of a brand spanking new model, the iPhone 17 Air. They're saying it's going to be massively redesigned and ultra-thin, and finally, it's bringing a 120Hz ProMotion display to a non-Pro model. Now, to get that thinness, it'll likely have just a single rear-facing camera. It's also expected to feature Apple's new in-house modem and maybe even a slightly less powerful version of the A19 Pro chip.
But of course, an ultra-thin design immediately makes you ask one huge question. What about the battery? Internal testing has reportedly shown it'll be good enough for about 80% of users. But Apple might also launch a companion battery case, just in case. It really is the central question for this new model. Is this a revolutionary step forward or just a really risky trade-off?
All right, let's switch gears and talk about the Pro models. Both the 17 Pro and Pro Max are set for some seriously beefy internal upgrades. We're talking about the new A19 Pro chip and a jump to 12 gigs of memory, which means even faster performance. They're also getting a new anti-reflective display and, for better cooling during intense gaming, a vapor chamber. Heck, even the front camera is getting a big upgrade to 24 megapixels.
But the biggest camera news is on the back. You gotta get ready for a massive leap in resolution. The Pro models are rumored to get a new 48-megapixel telephoto lens. And what that means is, for the first time ever, all 3 rear cameras, the main, the ultra-wide, and the telephoto, will all be 48 megapixels. That is huge.
So, what's going to set the absolute top-of-the-line Pro Max apart from the regular Pro? Well, it all comes down to the zoom. The Pro Max is rumored to get an exclusive variable zoom telephoto lens, giving it a seamless optical zoom range from 5 all the way to 8 times. That's a feature the standard Pro model just won't have.
And one more Pro-exclusive feature, and it's a cool one, reverse wireless charging. For the very first time, you'll be able to charge your AirPods or your Apple Watch just by placing them on the back of your iPhone. Reports are suggesting a power output of up to 7.5 watts. Pretty neat.
Okay, so the iPhone is the headliner for sure, but it's not the only star of the show. Let's talk about the Apple Watch, where we're expecting a refresh across 3 different models.
For the SE and the Series 11, the updates seem to be, well, a little more iterative. The SE will probably get a faster processor, but not much else. The Series 11, after last year's big redesign, is expected to get the new S11 chip, mainly for better battery life. And while it's been rumored for a while, the addition of blood pressure monitoring is still just a possibility, definitely not a sure thing yet.
The Apple Watch Ultra 3, on the other hand, looks like it's getting a much more significant upgrade. It should inherit some of the cool tech from last year's Series 10, like a display with better viewing angles, and of course it'll get that new S11 chip. But for cellular users, the big news is a brand new 5G chip for way faster connectivity.
All right, let's talk about the Encore. Beyond the main devices, this is often where some of the most welcome upgrades pop up. So let's look at the accessories, starting with a big one, new AirPods. First up, the AirPods Pro 3. Man, this has been a long time coming. The new model is expected to add in-ear heart rate monitoring, and there are whispers of a live translation feature, though the details on that are still kind of murky. The case is also getting a redesign with a hidden light and new tap controls, all on top of better audio and noise cancellation. And then we have the AirTag 2.
This looks like it's going to be a smaller refresh, but a really practical one. It's expected to feature longer range and a redesigned speaker that's much harder for thieves to disable, which addresses a key security concern from the first generation.
Now that's likely everything for the big September event itself. But Apple's year won't be over. There's a whole other list of products we're expecting to see launch soon after, probably sometime in October.
So, what should we be looking out for later this year? Well, the list includes an M5-powered Apple Vision Pro and new M5 iPad Pros. We could also see a new Apple TV 4K and some refreshed HomePod minis. Since a lot of these are just spec bumps, Apple might just roll them out quietly with a press release, or maybe a shorter online event.
So there you have it, a complete rundown of what to expect from Apple this fall. From an ultra-thin iPhone and a super-powered Watch Ultra to the next generation of AirPods Pro, it really leaves us with one final question. With so many new products on the way, which one do you think will truly be the one to change the game?